importance of group work. My name is Nefertiti Ohimai, the moderator, and I'd like to go through some housekeeping rules to ensure we are all on the same page, as well as get the best out of this session. Firstly, all microphones will be muted to avoid hallback effects. If for any reason you're not muted, kindly assist in muting yourself when you're not speaking. Secondly, in line with cybersecurity policy, anonymous questions will not be attended to. What this means is that questions and comments from devices without real individual names, not brand names, will not be entertained. To ask a question, kindly utilize the Q&A feature on your screen. To leave a comment, please utilize the chat area. To speak, if time permits, kindly utilize the raise your hand feature on your screen. We humbly request that we keep the questions narrowed down to the topic and discussions for tonight. We are also live on our social media handles, including our YouTube channel, Amok Nigeria, and the link is being shared in the chat area. Kindly share with our members who are unable to join us here, and should you experience network glitches from your end, please do not hesitate to join on our YouTube channel. If you are yet to subscribe to Amok Nigeria, kindly do so and turn on notification in order to get info on new updates. The recorded version of this session and videos from all our sessions, as well as other videos, are available to you on this channel whenever you visit. Also, please subscribe to all our social media handles, Instagram, LinkedIn inclusive. Having mentioned this, beloved fratres, sorors, and friends, please let's welcome our most worthy Grand Administrator and Director of the Supreme Grand Lodge, Frater Kenneth U. Idiodi, on the topic, the importance of group work. We're excited to have you here once again, sir, and over to you.
Thank you. Welcome all. I suggest for today that we commence with a brief period of breathing so that you calm down. It will be the neutral breathing. That is that you take in a deep breath and hold it for a few seconds without discomfort, and then exhale slowly and without holding it out. You take in another deep breath, in and out at your own pace and rhythm until you find yourself in a state of equipoise. You are cool, you are calm, you are composed. And now let us unite in invocation. God of our hearts, God of our realization, God of all creation, in whose consciousness we live and move and have our being, our help in ages past and our hope for years to come. We assemble virtually on this platform to contemplate some of our Rosicrucian principles, essentially the principle of group work. May our contemplation be fruitful, and may our acts of service to our fellow human beings here on earth ever be to your glory, the good of all, and the evolution of our soul personalities. So much it be. And now dignitaries of our order, fratres and sorors, and friends of our order who are with us, wherever you are individually. But together, we are already a group as a collectivity. And so it's my pleasure once again to have you all. Those who are here with us for the first time, you are welcome. Those who have been regular on our programs, the UAZ Forum, you are of course very welcome once more. We've considered several topics this year, and I don't want to mention each of them on this occasion, but to simply suggest that you flow with what we are attempting to do today, discussing the importance of group work. I can tell you and share with you what you all know, the common saying that no human being is an island. Another saying that conveys the same idea is a tree cannot make a forest. The idea being that no one can exist in isolation without the support or services of other individuals. And even in this era of the pandemic, when for one reason or another in a certain country, whether it is red or amber, people are under lockdown or semi-lockdown, or some who may not have done any vaccinations and are required by certain standards in various countries of the COVID protocol to go into isolation, they still need the support of other individuals to function effectively and efficiently in isolation. However, when individuals come together to consciously support each other to achieve a common goal or set of goals, then they are in effect working as a group. The goals and how they are attained give the group its unique identity and power. The individuals that compose the group, in turn, become beneficiaries of the identity and power of the group. The human society is actually made up of groups of people that interact with one another. Some of these groups come together to form larger groups, which in turn interact with other groups. Each individual typically belongs to several groups concurrently. For example, your immediate family is a group, your nuclear family, and your extended family is a larger group composed of smaller family groups. If you are employed, you belong to the workforce group of your company or organization. Your religious or spiritual interests may result in you becoming a member of a church, mosque, synagogue, or temple. Your social interests may cause you to become a member of a social club like a football fan club, a video games club, a book club, etc. There are also professional bodies that professionals join for career development and opportunity. We will find that our thoughts, words, and deeds at any particular moment are influenced by the group we are attuned with at that particular moment. There are some situations in which there could be a clash between the rules of two or more groups we belong to. If, for example, a single policeman on patrol comes across a burglar trying to break into a house, and on drawing out his pistol to make an arrest, suddenly recognizes the burglar to be his junior brother, cousin, or what have you, a conflict arises with him. Does he act as a policeman or as a senior brother? What is required to be a good policeman may not always be the same as what is required to be a good brother. we must also realize that the identity or behavior that any group confers on individual members is not permanent or immutable. Therefore, when we leave a group, it is possible for us to drop all the characteristics we have imbibed from the group. The group identity, Francis and Soros, is like a badge or cloak that we may put on and may remove or discard at will. However, to wear the cloak properly, which means being an effective member of the group, we must understand the dynamics of the group, its rules, its do's and don'ts. And we must also understand ourselves well enough to know the role we are best suited for in the group. This applies in all cases of work by the group, be it at the physical level, at the mental, subjective level, or at the deeper subconscious level. Francis and Soros, at the physical level, we see many examples of group work. For example, in the construction of a building, there are masons, electricians, plumbers, painters, civil engineers, architects, surveyors, etc., all playing different roles in the building work. As a worker on the building site, you become most effective when you have knowledge of what the completed building should be like, the particular role you are playing in achieving that goal, and how your work affects the work of others and vice versa. At the mental subjective level, group work involves bringing ideas together to form a complex system of ideas that could be implemented at the physical level. An example of this is the subjective work involved in planning for an event like the upcoming Rosicrucian Convention in Abuja. To be an effective member of the group planning for the convention, the principle behind holding a Rosicrucian Convention must be understood. The experience of having planned previous conventions, or at least attended some, is very valuable. However, it is also important to be open to new ideas, since everything in life is subject to the law of change. Again, as I've always said, the law of change is a basic law of the manifest universe. Since the work of planning is subjective, the faculties of imagination and concentration are invaluable for this kind of work. This will facilitate the close attention to minute details, which is required for good quality planning. The program of activities for the convention is the blueprint that drives all the other activities of the convention. Several committees and subcommittees are involved in planning how to successfully carry out the various activities of the program. Without the vision, commitment, and cooperation, loyalty and love of all those involved in the planning of Rosicrucian conventions, it would be impossible to hold any of them. Let us still, in terms of group work, consider what we do at the level of the Council of Service. At the subconscious level, group work is achieved by jointly applying our knowledge of cosmic laws to achieve specific results. An example of this can be found in our work at the level of the Council of Service. We receive hundreds of petitions all over the world from people in need of metaphysical assistance for challenges in health, security, finances, personal relationships, marriage, career, or academic development, etc. The work of the Council of Solace requires an understanding of the principle of cosmic attunement. Members of the Council of Solace must be able to attune with cosmic consciousness in order to assist others who are out of attunement. The Rosicrucian mystic understands that being out of attunement with the cosmic results in the manifestation of different forms of disharmony and discord. And we experience these in life as ill health, poverty, warfare, fear, enmity, racism, narrow-mindedness, etc., etc. In order to attune with cosmic consciousness, we must be able to mentally align ourselves with the highest ideals of light, life, and love. At the subconscious level, group work is based on our frequency of vibration. Those functioning on the same frequency of vibration naturally come together in the inner planes and put forth the group dynamics of cosmic attunement. And the work they do becomes consolidated and produces greater results. Francis and Sorrells, at all levels of group work, be it at the material level, mental, or spiritual levels, the principle of synergy applies. Simply put, synergy is where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. The power of the group is greater than what you will get by simply adding up the individual power of all the members of the group. The human being is a social animal. We thrive in one another's presence. The output of every individual is multiplied greatly when working harmoniously with others. At the level of affiliated body group work, it is obvious that much as a new member of the Rosicrucian Order AMOC is by default a private sanctum member, meaning that the member receives the lessons and studies them at the level of his personal sanctum in the privacy of his or her home. At the level of the affiliated body, the member carries out work at an individual level on the physical and subjective planes, as well as being in touch with others. And if the lessons are carefully studied and the exercises diligently carried out, the member will be attuned to the group work of the order at the psychic and subconscious levels. A new member who is conscientious and sincere may also, deriving from this, be motivated to join the group work of the order at the affiliated body level. He may join an Atrium group or Proneus as soon as he becomes a member, or to affiliate with a chapter or lodge if he has done or read lessons up to the first Atrium in the course of the Rosicrucian studies, become involved in the chapter or lodge work. As a member of an affiliated body, you are participating in the group work of the order at the material, subjective, and subconscious planes. This is very important in perpetuating the light of the Rosicrucians. If I may remind us, the purpose of our order is contained in our mission statement, which in summary states that we are to enable humanity work in harmony with universal laws for the attainment of health, happiness, and peace. By participating in this work, you become a beneficiary of the egregore of the order, which is the aggregate synergistic energy of the Rosicrucian hierarchy of initiates participating in the great work. The egregore of the order confers upon us many special qualities that benefit us in many ways, known and unknown. Which is why, Francis and Sorrells, I must tell you that in the Rosicrucian Convention coming up in the International Conference Center in Abuja, from November 5 to 7, 2021, we will be doing the work of the order at the physical, mental, and spiritual levels every day. On such occasions, the energies of the egregore of the order manifest clearly with an almost physical, tangible quality. You will generally find that matters of a psychic, subjective, or mundane nature that you have been struggling with for years may be easily resolved if you choose to address your mind to them when psychically uplifted. The impact of a Rosicrucian convention is very extensive at the psychic and subconscious levels. It forms a radiant expression of light in the inner planes that affects the whole of humanity. The evolution of humanity is dependent on the work we do as a group at all levels. because with group dynamics, we impact on all of creation from higher planes. The healing work we do in the inner planes is perhaps the most important work we have at hand. There is a lot of subconscious trauma in the world today, fratres and sorors, and no sustainable progress can be made at the mental and physical levels if this is not addressed as a matter of urgency. If you are going to be physically present in the convention, we'll be indeed very glad to have you join us in the Rosicrucian work we all love to do. Our most worthy Imperator, Frater Claudio Mazuko, will be with us. Also present will be Grandmaster Sven Johansson. Those who cannot be with us physically can register to participate virtually. And in this way, you can join us at both the subjective and inner planes of the work. The theme for our convention is service, with the slogan, self-mastery for service. These are core Rosicrucian values, which we shall elaborate on through several presentations and group mystical exercises directed by our hierarchy members of the order, under the leadership of our most worthy Imperator. On behalf of Grand Lodge Administration, we look forward to having you with us in Abuja for group work and worship at all levels in a coveted service to humanity under the auspices of the Rosy Cross. And may the light of the Rose Cross continue to perfect our work of service on the material, mental, and spiritual planes. So much it be.
So much it be.
Fratres and sorors, this is the end of my message of light and contemplation today. And I will look forward to your comments, your questions, and after a short while, it will be my pleasure to close with a celestial sanctum attunement to prepare each and all of you for the convention, whether you be physically present in Abuja or participate only virtually. I'll hand you over now to our moderator, Sir Nefertiti Ohimai, who will be taking us through the sets of comments, questions, and answers.
Thank you very much, most worthy Grand Administrator, for speaking to us on the topic, the importance of group work. Distinguished fratres, sirs, and friends, we are at the point where we take our questions and comments. We have listened to our most worthy Grand Administrator, and he has already told us the importance of group work. He has mentioned a tree cannot make a forest, and of course, he has elaborated on the reason why we should participate in group work of the affiliated body as well as the order, because in doing this, we are placed in the energy of the egregore. At this point, permit me to remind us that in line with cybersecurity policy, anonymous questions will not be attended to. Please, your devices should be named. You should use real individual names. And then to ask a question, kindly utilize the Q&A feature on your screen. To leave a comment, please utilize the chat area. To speak if time permits, but mostly we advise you leave your questions in the Q&A area. It's faster based on network or internet connectivity this way. So on this note, we are open to questions and comments. Thank you. Our most worthy Grand Administrator, at this time, we do not have questions yet, but we have a comment.
Yes, please, let me listen to that.
A member is saying, we thank you so immensely for sharing this light. And the person is actually thanking you for all of us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Fratacomland Davon, you actually left your name alone in the Q&A area. Please, can you type your question again? And at this time, we'll be entertaining Frater Kingsley Ekioma Enya. He would like to speak directly. Frater Kingsley, please speak with us. Frater Kingsley Enya. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we
Hello?
can hear you.
Okay. Please profound, beloved Sora.
Greetings, sir.
Please profound. Please, I'm participating in this Zoom seminar with a friend who is also a friend of the other. And he has just asked a question which I would, with all humility, gladly want to forward to you.
Go ahead and ask it, please.
Okay. The question is this. He said, subject to publicly held opinion about the order, is AMOC a secret cult or a secret organization?
Thank you very much for your question. We are as open as Zoom, if I may say so, which is why you are able to participate in this program as well. We are a school of life and a university of learning. And our portals are open to all members of the public who are able to read and write in the language jurisdiction we belong. In this case, English-speaking jurisdiction, English being the lingua franca for Nigeria and many West African and African countries. Of course, if you were speaking French, you will be belonging to the French-speaking jurisdiction, German to the German-speaking jurisdiction, etc., etc. We have close to 16 or a little more than 16 different international languages in which our lessons are available. So if you are a Nigerian or an African in the English-speaking jurisdiction, you are able to read and write. You are able to accept with an open mind new ideas pertaining to yourself and the universe, regardless of your religious beliefs, whether you be Jew or Christian or Muslim or Zoroastrian or Buddhist, you may apply for membership because this organization is an educational organization that is devoted to the investigation, study, and practical application of all natural and spiritual laws, for the sole purpose of making sure that in the process of this study, you attain greater health of body, mind, and soul, physical health, intellectual health, and of course, financial health for your well-being, your material well-being. That you also are able to understand happiness and how to tap it and radiate it and share it with others, and how you can make others happy, since in this process you too become happier. That you are able to live in harmony with nature and with the universe, and that you are also able to experience peace in your daily life. We are therefore a school, and certainly not a cult, and we are prepared to perpetuate the tradition of learning that the order has always stood for, learning about ourselves, learning about the universe, and how to relate harmoniously with others. Thank you. Let us have the next question.
Thank you very much, most worthy Grand Administrator. Our next question is from Frater Peter Igwe, and he's asking, since group work is so much effective for attainment of our purpose in life, why is Sanctum membership accepted by AMOC?
Why is Sanctum membership what?
Accepted by AMOC.
Oh, you must begin with yourself. Each of us as human beings must begin with ourselves. And remember that from the Rosicrucian perspective, every human being is actually two in one. The outer self and then the inner self. You must learn to organize yourself, who is an aggregate and combined and evolved manifestation of cells charged with the positive quality of the vital life force, working as a group within yourself and in concert with your higher self, before you can even properly relate with the larger group beyond yourself. Because in the final analysis, what we are saying is that the human being should know himself or know herself. Know thyself. You know, and this was at the entrance of Plato's Academy in Greece. Before that, you know, we had this in ancient Egypt, know thyself. Egypt, of course, you know, is the cradle of civilization at all levels, historically, chronologically, and up to this time. That said, working with a group means you accept, and in case you didn't know it, that no human being has a monopoly of knowledge. When we say that knowledge is power, we mean that this knowledge is not just from within us, but also from around us. We must interact and flow with several persons in several disciplines of human endeavor and learning in order to equip ourselves optimally for the business of life and living, which Rosicrucians describe as the mastery of life. The mastery of life begins with self-mastery. Attaining this within yourself, and then extending that to understanding life generally and the modus operandi of natural and spiritual laws. When you work with a group in an affiliated body, you share your light with others, even as others share your light with you. And so combining your lights, we can make the affiliated body and the entire world of humanity brighter than if we are doing things alone. That is the psychology and philosophy and principle behind group dynamics and learning from one another in a group environment. Next question.
Thank you very much, sir. Frater Emmanuel Esemitoji is asking that, okay, my name is Emmanuel Esemitoji, member from England, Blackpool. How will someone from the UK be able to attend the convention? Most for the Grand Administrator, before you respond to that, I just want everyone present to take notes of what is being, the links being shared in the chat area. The convention registration links have been pasted in the chat area, just in case you need to register now if you haven't. And I think most of the Grand Administrator want to add one or two things to what I have just said.
Thank you. You read my mind. Okay. Yes. You know, with this link, you can register for the convention. Now, we have people in the UK, members in the UK, who may not be able to travel down physically to Nigeria. And if you click on this link, it will take you to the registration portal, and you can follow it and register immediately. If you have any challenges in this direction, write us directly, the administration here. You can also go to our website, www.amoc.org.ng. You can phone us directly. You can WhatsApp our officers. You can send a text message. You can send an email. We still have a few more days, and we still have place in the International Conference Center Hall for all those who want to register for the convention to do so. So the registration is still open. Of course, this is to members only. We are not admitting non-members for this convention. You have the opportunity to also become a member of the order by registering to become a member. Again, get onto our website, www.amok.org.ng, or use the links to phone us directly, and we'll tell you how you can become a member or register to become a member. Next question.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll be merging two questions. Dr. Akin Babafemi is asking, how do an individual find out the best areas of service to humanity? And Fatah Henry Nzeka is asking, are there conditions that will make one be out of the egregore of the order and make a member ineffective from the group work?
Thank you. You know, the path of the Rosicrucian order is one in which an individual makes up his or her mind to become a member. When you are accepted into the order, it is a privilege. Many seek us, but may not find us. And in line with our ancient traditions, if you sincerely want to be a member of the order, we can locate you wherever you are, and you will become a member. That's how it works, see? I won't go beyond that, but I can tell you that each of us who became members were located by the light of the Rose Choir, and were able to file our applications very humbly, and we felt very honored and privileged and happy to become members. And those of us who have been members for a few decades know that there was no other place we would have preferred to be, because we have experienced the joy of membership, the benefits of membership, and we are able to express the light and vitality and love within us for our common humanity throughout the nooks and crannies of our planet. That said, I can also tell you that in terms of identifying your mission, it's a personal thing. If you follow the Rosicrucian teachings and put into practice the exercises, at some point in time, you will become aware of your talents, your skills, much more than when you were not a member. And this is because the order itself is committed and devoted to service. And therefore, when you identify with the ideals of the order, you definitely are in tune with what it takes to render service according to your talents and skills and passion and interest. That then becomes an aspiration for fulfilling your cosmic mission here on Earth. I must also add this, that the Rosicrucian has a certain type of character. He is an open-minded person. He strives to serve. He places service above self. And to the extent that he's committed in character and learning to these ideals, he is within the grace of the egregore and can enjoy all the benefits deriving therefrom. If, however, by serious misdemeanors and an inability on the part of the student to make amends and to ensure that he remains committed to a good life of serving humanity according to the Rosicrucian ideals and pyramid of ideals, there will be a tendency to veer off from the path, and that is the only time in which he may begin to feel that he's no longer within the grace of the order's egregore. So it's by our thoughts, by our utterances, and by our actions that we remain part and parcel of the learning process of the Rosicrucian because the Rosicrucian is always a student of nature. And that is where our commitment lies. Next question.
Thank you, sir. Two questions. One from Frater Comlan Davon. I want to find out whether the virtual participation for the Abuja Convention, November 2021, will cover the entire program. That's one, sir. Then the next one is from Highton Bereworiso. Please pardon me if I didn't pronounce that right. Most worthy Grand Administrator, please can the virtual convention be made free for fratres and sorors who cannot afford both the physical and paid virtual, or if possible, make it easy for them to benefit from the convention?
Thank you. For the first time, I would like to ask a question back as an answer. If we make it free for everybody, how do we pay for the hall? You see, the Rosicrucians, among the principles we teach, we have logic, and also with much respect to the questioner, we have respect for fellow humans. Why will you want to participate in a convention which other persons have paid for? So that's it. It is the responsibility of every participant to contribute towards the cost of the convention. This is fundamental to our principles, and in this way, we know that we have a hall that has been hired, and it's not a cheap hall. In this way, we know that there is a determination on your part to be responsible and to share with others. From our various experiences, I can tell you that even if we say that the convention is free for everybody, we may not necessarily have very many more than the people we are likely to have for the convention. The reason being that the freer you make it, the more the impression is created that there is nothing to gain going there. And that is also because we are not a religious group. We have nothing against religion, but this is not a religion. This is a fraternal body of men and women who are committed to study, to self-improvement, and to learning principles that are taught by the order in order to better serve humanity through self-improvement and placing at the disposal of humanity what we have learned. So we have very many events, e.g. symposia, seminars, and workshops. You know that this program you are participating in is sponsored by the Rosicrucian Order. You don't have to pay for it. And we have never had cause to say people should pay for these programs. But it's quite a lot of money to have this program for 1 hour. Now, the convention is not for the public, it's for members. If you are not a member of the order, you are not expected to participate in the convention because you will not even understand what we are saying, you see? And even if you understand, you will not be able to relate them to how we can serve humanity thereby. So it's well established that all our conclaves, regional conventions, world conventions, are by virtue of each participating member registering for the convention and paying a convention fee. Now, to the second or first part of the question pertaining to virtual, the virtual program cannot cover the entire aspect of the convention, which is why the virtual registration is lower in fee than the in-person physical presence in the hall. Virtual participants have no business being involved with the work of the conventicle or convocations. And this is because the atmosphere we create for our convocations is totally, exclusive, and there is no way in which we can put this in a virtual format at this point. If such a thing will happen in the future imperator and supreme officers may come up with such a decision. We are very much with Zoom, with modern devices and technology for propagating the philosophy of the order. But when we are looking into the inner planes, the higher planes, and the work we do at such levels, this is not for public, and it is for those who understand the principles we are talking about and can participate in them. So virtual registration for this convention does not admit you, for instance, to our mystical convocations. It is just not part of the deal. At this point, I can also confirm that affiliated bodies have been authorized by us to have some cluster groups. And in these cluster groups, you will have virtual registration, and we should have feedbacks to the administration as to how many were in these virtual groups and who are eligible to participate in these virtual groups. Again, these occasions are not for the public, it's for members only. When we are doing public activities, e.g. the GS Forum, we will let you know and we can invite people. And there are aspects of the GS Forum, some sessions or versions of the GS Forum that are exclusively for members only, and rightly so. It's not a difficult thing to become a member of this organization. And so if you want to know about higher principles in the GS Forum that we discuss, you should be a member. Otherwise, you have no business participating in the GS Forum. I hope that I'm quite clear about this. And we look forward to our members who have registered in person to be in Abuja, and those who are virtual to participate either from the privacy of their homes or from the cluster group in an affiliated body, and to observe the rules and regulations as a demonstration of their self-discipline and commitment. Thank you. Next question.
Thank you very much, Amos Wadi, Grand Administrator. Before we take the next question, I would like to remind us that we are on Instagram, and at the moment, we are live on Instagram. So if we have members who would prefer to join us via the Instagram link, you could just go directly to our page, Amok Nigeria, on Instagram. And we are encouraging members to, or participants to drop their questions there. We trust our most worthy Grand Administrator will handle the questions as well. Also, Frater Kingsley Idiagbo, if you are still here and listening to me, I want to believe that our most worthy Grand Administrator has responded to your question. If not, you may want to modify it and then I'll ask him. But sir, so you would listen. Frater Kingsley initially asked, thanks so much, our most worthy Grand Administrator, for promoting AMOC and group work for over 5 decades. Attending AMOC convention heightens synergy of like minds, not only on physical level, like meeting our friends and making new ones, but attuning us to the egregore. Now, why is this hybrid event not allowing members who will be attending virtually to miss out in the ritualistic aspects like mystical convocation and Martinez conventicles? But I believe you've already answered this, except you still want to add anything. But
oh, of course I can add.
Yeah,
we have ceremonies, and some of them for the public, e.g. appellation ceremony. A member of the public can come with a member whose child is being appellated to the temple. We also, for instance, have the memorial ceremony, pyramid and memorial ceremony in September, to which the public is invited. And we do this in the premises of our temple. We have a marriage ceremony, for instance. It's a ceremony and it has ritualistic things, as with all marriages, whether it's church marriage or Muslim marriage or Rosicrucian marriage, and the public also are invited as family members with the couple and friends to come into the temple. But we say that to participate in a mystical convocation of the order, whether it is at the pronaos or at the chapter or lodge levels, you must be a member of the order who has been tutored and has assimilated, the principles that we elucidate upon and use in our ritualistic work. That's all. And that is how it should be. If there is a need for us to go public with any of our ceremonies, we'll do that. But this is the discretion of the officers of the organization. In this case, we have a Rosicrucian convention in Abuja, and we are going to have 3 convocations, and those are exclusively only for those who participate in person in the hall. Those who are participating virtually will not be having the opportunity and privilege to be part of this. You can, during that moment in which the convocations are, attune yourself and you know what to do. I can tell you straight away that the exercise that I'm going to conduct during this forum in a few minutes' time, if you follow it, you'll be very much in attunement with us during the convocations. You have the convocation times in your electronic program, and so all you have to do is to maintain a period of attunement during the convocation. That's all. If you want to have the full benefits of the convocation experience, then you are going to be physically in that hall in Abuja. So it's not too late. I told you we still have room for you to register to be physically present in Abuja for the convention. There are many good things that are going to happen in Abuja during this convention, some of which you know, and others you do not know. So before you start having people telling you about the convention and you start salivating that you were not there, let me tell you in advance that it's a very unique convention. Those who have been members like us for over 50 years have never seen this type of convocation that will be conducted. And so it's a very unique convention. We won't tell you more than this. Seeing is believing in this case, and participating is absolutely believing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aboswadi, Grand Administrator. So I will merge another set of questions. Valerie is asking, please, must service to humanity be restricted to the Rosicrucian Order and members? Then there's another question on, does the registration of a frater cover his or her column?
Thank you. The second question is totally irrelevant because columns don't pay for registration in any event. So columns are very highly respected senior officers of this organization. And for that reason, they are exempt from registration, even though I can tell you that I myself, I have duly registered for the convention, and my dear wife, Sarah Judy, has also duly registered for the convention. So if you are traveling with your column, as we have on several occasions when we had a daughter that was a column, this column is free, attends the convention, participates in the events freely, but in his or her capacity as a column of the order. Now, you, the father of the column or the mother of the column, must register for the convention. Otherwise, you will not be able to participate in the convention. Which was the other side now of this question is to do with...
must service to humanity be restricted to the
not at
order
all.
and members?
No. Every human being on earth, whether he or she knows it or not, whether he or she is aware of it or not, is rendering some service. When you become a member of the order, of the Rosicrucian order, I mean, a sincere member of the Rosicrucian Order, you become even more aware of the need for service and the commitment that each member and each and every human being should show towards service. You know, and therefore, I can tell you that service is not restricted to Rosicrucian members, and we have never made such bogus claims. But we are aware that there are very many human beings who are doing an amazing job in service. They may not call it service, they may call it daily bread, they may call it, you know, it depends, you know, on their notions about service. But if you want me to tell you something about it, which I've said very many times in my lecture discourses to members and public lectures and outings, that service, in a nutshell, is the rent which we pay for the room or space we occupy in God's territory. It is the rent which we pay and must pay for the space we occupy in God's territory. If you dwell on this for the next 30 minutes or less, depending on how much time you have, it will dawn on you that being on earth is a privilege. It's not a right. And therefore, you should do the bit you can to contribute to the health, happiness, peace, and well-being of this planet of which you are a tenant. And the more you render service in line with your talents and skills and ability and education and training and spirituality, the healthier, the happier, the more peaceful, the more harmonious you will be. The more you fail to do this, the more tendency there is for you to be irritated, angry, petty, mean, mediocre. Mediocrity is not a standard for Rosicrucians. We must raise our consciousness to that level where we can render service efficaciously and efficiently to fellow human beings to make this world a better place than it was when we took incarnation or when we were born. This is a commitment on the part of all Rosicrucians, and we shall demonstrate it at this convention. So you need to be there. Next, and perhaps final question.
Thank you very much, most worthy Grand Administrator. Okay, so we have one question from Frater Silvanus Obirabi Sanipe from Port Harcourt. The question is, how can a neophyte of the order fully participate in the group work when he's so new to all people around him?
Thank you. I would not like to talk elaborately upon myself and my own experience as a neophyte, because I can tell you that at this point, I'm still a neophyte myself in the studies. What I can tell you, however, is that the neophyte has an advantage over those of us who claim to have been members for very many years. If only he does one thing, that is, commence the studies with an open mind. If somebody who has just joined the order can, just for a short while, set aside all preconceived notions about the world and all that, and gives the teachings a chance without any bias or prejudice, phobia or complex, etc., he or she will become a very marvelous Rosicrucian student. So, beginning from the very first monograph, I want to tell you that we have released exercises which, if you do conscientiously, will welcome you into this path. You must resist the temptation for thinking that your brother or sister or neighbor or colleague in the office who has been in the order for 5 years is more fantastic in the studies than you are, because it depends on the level of commitment to the study and practice that such a member has put in. So efficiency in the application of Rosicrucian principles is not measured by length of years in the organization. No. It is measured by sheer diligence, devotion, and dedication, commitment to the study program, and the practice of the exercises that are released for our psychic development, for our mental, intellectual, and spiritual development, and for enhancing our capacity to render service to our fellow and common humanity. So I can tell you that what I'm sharing with the entire public and with all of you is just within the first few monographs of the study program of the order. And we are very free to generously share it, because we know that whether you are a member of this organization or not, if you are spiritually inclined, you can enter the celestial sanctum and attune with your inner or higher self. And so do not think that because you are just a new member, you are just a neophyte, therefore I, talking with you, know so much more. No. When you enter the house of God, it is your character, it is your commitment, it is the purity of your thoughts and emotion that raises you to the higher realms to be able to commune. It is not your length of membership, but the quality of your devotion and commitment that makes you a sincere Rosicrucian student. On that note, I ask that we all sit relaxed and do what we did at the beginning, which is taking a deep breath and without holding it, exhale slowly, and without holding out, taking another deep breath in and out slowly and at your own rhythm and pace. While you are doing this, I want to remind you that within each of us is a quiet, serene center where one can go to garner strength, regain composure, find answers, and grow in spiritual stature. This is our soul center where we commune with the God of our hearts, the God of our realization, the God of all creation, the God of our deepest understanding. We should be making a habit to go and enter here every day, attuning with the center of our beings to seek renewal and guidance, to rejuvenate ourselves and find strength and serenity, to overcome life's challenges and to move up, gradually ascending the ladder of spiritual experience and maturity. And now, feel yourself in consciousness at the sole of your feet, in touch with the Earth's magnetism. Concentrate on your left foot. And then on the right. From the sole of your feet, feel the ankles. Feel the vibrations move from your ankles towards the knees. From the knees through the thighs to the waist area. Focus your consciousness now upon the base of the spine. Raise your consciousness up to that area above your navel, the solar plexus area. Feel the tingly sensations in your body as you further raise your consciousness to the area of the heart. And now, the area of the neck. Focus attention now on your palms, your left palm, your left hand, the fingers, feel them left and right, the wrists, left and right, the lower arms, the elbows, left and right, up again to the area of the neck. Run your thoughts along both sides of your spine, spinal column, from the base at your waist level, up again to the neck. Having assembled your movement inwards and of consciousness to this thyroid area of the neck, taking a deep breath now and focalize on the center of your head. Another deep breath and feel the energy within your head, charging your eyes, your ears, your brain. Begin to feel yourself as one, from toe to head. And at this point, feel yourself in a spherical ball of energy, with you at the center of it. And now, with the first deep breath, acknowledge the light of divinity within you and around you, so that when you are ready to exhale, you can feel your entire being and your aura charge with vibrations, the brilliance of divine light. With the second deep breath, feel yourself taking in the breath of life, the vital life force. And so that when you are ready to exhale, your entire being is charged with the vitality of divine life. Finally, with the third deep breath, feel it from the depths of your heart and entire being. Universal love, impersonal love. And so that when you're ready to exhale, your entire being and aura becomes charged with the sublimity of divine love. Thus imbued with the light, life, and love of divine effulgence, let us unite in invocation. May the divine essence of the cosmic infuse our beings and cleanse us of all impurities of mind and body, that we may enter the celestial sanctum and attune in pureness and worthiness. So much it be. And now, raise your consciousness to a point above your head. Beyond that, while in this spherical ball of light, feel yourself rising gradually above the house where you are, above your village, town, city, over and above your local government, your county, your region, over and above the country where you reside, live, or work. Gradually into the clouds, and through the clouds, and above the clouds, into that realm which represents the highest plane of consciousness that can be achieved when attuning oneself with the cosmic. Celestial sanctum is the realm of purification, regeneration, revelation, and illumination. It is to this realm, this field of cosmic energy, that we go to petition for the health, happiness, harmony, welfare of others, and the overall well-being of ourselves, as well as for peace on earth. You should therefore, as you approach and enter your celestial sanctum, feel at peace with yourself, at peace with the environment, devoid of material realities, at peace with the universe, knowing full well that the universe is but a thought of God. At this level, be receptive to the good work being done by Rosicrucians in their various temples, and which will be done during the convention in Abuja. Feel yourself, if unable to be there physically, participating in this convention virtually. And from this depth within your own being and this heights in the universe, feel the impact of well-being, attuning with the theme of this convention, which is service. Reflect upon the fact that all what we do in the area of self-mastery is, after all, for service above self. Service to fellow humans. Service to the glory of God. Service for improvement in the arts, sciences, humanities, technology, human relations, communities, nations, the world at large. Service in the exercise of a talent or skill we have in our workplace and at home, as well as in our interpersonal relationships. With this in mind, ask the God of your heart, the God of all realization, the God of all creation, for divine empowerment, for greater service. Focalize on this request and release it into the universal consciousness of God. And after you have done it, consider it done. I shall utter a prayer on behalf of all of us, and then gradually close the attunement session. Proceed now with your request for divine empowerment in your personal field of endeavor and aspiration, to have a fulfillment of your fondest hopes and prayers. And now let us unite in prayer. God of our hearts, God of our realization, in whose consciousness we live and move and have our being, and who dwelleth in the light of life, the light of love, the light of wisdom and divine understanding. In thy light may we see light. Give to us the consciousness of oneness with each other and with thee, that thy truth may prevail at all times throughout the world. Grant to us the knowledge of thy laws and the consciousness of divine service, and a desire to receive that we may give, knowing full well that we can only receive as we are ready and willing to give in service. grant each and all who assemble in virtual presence on this platform today a divine empowerment to carry on with the affairs of their lives in service to our fellow humanity and to your glory. Harmonize and enrich our hearts and minds with the divine love and goodness, and let our acts of service here on earth ever be for the good of all. So would it be. And now, brothers and friends, begin to gradually return from celestial sanctum within, over, above, and beyond us in the realm of consciousness we have enjoyed together. Through the same avenue we ascended, through the clouds and higher levels, to our planet, the earth, the country, the city, town, or village, the building we were, office or home, and gradually back to the temple of the soul, our natural habitat. Remain quiet, silent, but receptive for this closing prayer. In the grace of God, sanctify our individual and collective attunement with celestial sanctum, even as we remain grateful for the group work we have done together in the interest of our evolution and our common humanity. So will it be. And now, brothers and sisters, friends, we thank you for participating in this virtual session on this platform. We look forward, hopefully, to seeing you at the convention in Abuja physically or by your virtual presence. We also look forward to the next GS Forum that will be advertised in our usual ways. Hopefully that we have 2 more before the end of the calendar year 2021, as specific dates to be announced by our administration. Hopefully that you leave this session inspired, energized, and motivated in whatever you do in life, to remain committed to the concept of service, self-mastery for service, service above self, service to our common humanity. Thank you, and good night.
We thank you very much, most worthy Grand Administrator. Distinguished fratres and sorors, having listened to our most worthy Grand Administrator on the topic, the importance of group work, you will agree with me that this topic can never be overemphasized in bringing about positive change to the growth of humanity, as we know that a tree cannot make a forest. On behalf of everyone present tonight, we say thank you to you, our most worthy Grand Administrator, for always having us on this platform and sharing your wealth of knowledge and experience with us. and of course, leaving us yearning for more and looking forward to the next session. To you, our distinguished fratres, sorors, and friends of our beloved order, we thank you for keeping a date with us at these sessions. And we look forward to having you here again next month, November 2021, after the Rosicrucian Convention. To our members, as already mentioned by our most worthy Grand Administrator, remember the Rosicrucian Convention with the theme Service with the slogan Self-Mastery for Service is scheduled for 5th to 7th of next month, November 2021, at the International Conference Center, Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. You can still register for this event if you haven't. And like I mentioned in the last session, as well as reiterating what our most worthy Grand Administrator already mentioned today, our most worthy Imperator, Frater Claudio Mazzuco, as well as Grandmaster Sven Johansen, will be at this convention. Therefore, we should all endeavor to be there to give them that hospitality and Nigerian welcome we are known for. Remember, you can join us virtually as well. Also, do not forget the spiritual inclination of this convention. Finally, to you, our members, once again, it's a Thursday night. Do not forget to observe your sanctum night. Thank you and have a good night.